Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Python, programming especially in terms of object-oriented programming. So we're kind of moving away from biology and all those academic subjects. So I thought I'm going to do something maybe different and kind of teach you guys a little bit something new, which is again Python, and we're going to be covering object-oriented programming. So before I even give you guys an introduction, what I like to do is first write out the code and explain it as we go, because probably when I explain it first as an introduction, it probably won't make a lot of sense. So I thought let's just go dive deep into the code, straight into the code, and we will see how that kind of works out, and I'll kind of explain it on the way. So with object-oriented programming, the very first thing you need to keep in mind is that it's in terms of class. So you need this class keyword when you're defining a object or a class method. So let's say class, and we want to use my name. This could be whatever, you can call it whatever, even your name, or it's just an example. I'm just using my name because it just came up in my head. So, and then what we do next is we want init. What do we want inside my name or class I defined? So, and before we write out the objects, I use self as a placeholder. And we say I want my age and I want my birthday as my objects that I want to call later on. All right. And then we want to confirm that we're using that age and birthday as our objects. So we write self.age equals age, self.birthday equals birthday. Hopefully I spelled birthday right. But yeah, as you can see, so kind of a recap, I use the self keyword here. Very important that you use that, just to kind of use it as a placeholder, and then you can put in your objects, which could be whatever. I use just in my age and birthday because those are feasible, and then I confirm those objects by doing self.age equals age, self.birthday equals birthday. That's kind of how you write it out. So let's run that, and I want to define a variable that assigns to my class. So I want to assign essentially a variable that I can call instead of just saying my class when I call those objects. So I say my man as my variable is equivalent to my class, which was my name, and then I want to define those object values. So in the order that I presented, which was age and then birthday, age we could say has the value of 16 because I am 16, and then my birthday is September 12th, or the 12th of September. All right, let's run that. Awesome, worked. So now let's call those objects. We want those values to be returned. So we do my man, which was the variable that I assigned. My man dot. Okay, we can choose age or birthday. Let's do age. Oh yeah, nice, it worked. My man dot birthday worked. September 12th. Cool, right? So yeah, kind of just again see that when you assign a variable name, you call the variable name in terms of the objects when you want a certain object being called to return a value. Now, a second thing I want to cover are general method calls, or methods that we can add. So what I mean is that you saw kind of how we wrote the init, right? So we can add another totally new, basically method type, which could be anything. So for example, define my favorite color. And as always, we use that self keyword. Notice that I did not add any, for example, objects. Like I could say self dot, was it a light color? I didn't put anything other after self here. I don't need to, because with that method, all we want is to define that color, which could be return. We want to return the color blue, or the string blue, because that is my favorite color. So let's see how that will work. And then I can just copy paste this. Because that's just how it's going to be. And then my man dot, we have age, birthday, and color. That's cool. So we have color in there. And keep in mind that if I just do color, it's not going to work. It says bound method opt-in.color. I didn't define color inside my init, right? Color is not here as an object. So since this method is separate, it's not within this init keyword that I mentioned, I need to write parentheses. So because it's a separate, I like to think of it as if it's a method by itself, we need to put parentheses because it's not bound with the class necessarily. It's not within that init keyword that I have here. So if we do that, it works. We get blue, as I mentioned, as the string value that I wanted. Now lastly, I want to cover inheritance classes. So for example, this could be Jack is a new class that inherits my class. And I spelled my own name wrong, which was kind of funny. Class Jack takes in my class, which is my name. And then I will say define underscore what do you want inside Jack's class. Define init. I won't put any objects here just for the sake of quickly going over this, but you can if you want to, again, as I did here. But what do you want to return? We can say print. It's the same thing. It will do the same action as return, but we can say print Jack is cool, basically, as an example, as the value that we want to return. And then another cool thing with inheritance classes is that you can overwrite a method call. So you see here that I defined the color method, and then we defined that as a value of blue. Instead, we can write define color, which was our method, and always keep that self written as well. Instead of returning blue, we can say print red. We want red as our favorite color instead of blue. Cool. And then we can say instead of my man, my bro is equivalent to Jack. And then keep in mind we need to put parentheses there because it is a class method. Jack is cool, and it automatically brings in that value. We didn't need to put anything in there because we don't have any objects inside Jack because it was just the self keyword by itself. And then we want to define that color method, return that, mybro.color, but keep that parentheses because it's a method by itself, not within that init keyword, and then we get red. It worked. Awesome. So that's kind of cool. I really enjoy object-oriented programming. It's pretty satisfying also when you get it right. But I think all it takes is a little bit of practice. But also I hope this video kind of served as an introduction to object-oriented programming, kind of helped you guys navigate through it. It made sense. If you guys have further questions you want to ask, feel free to contact me, post them in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you guys as soon as possible. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was, as always, informative, and I will see you in a future video as well. Thank you so much, guys, for watching.